Hey guys, welcome back to NY Sports MC. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, click the notification to get all my videos, as well as like and comment on any of the videos that you do like. I wanted to come out with a quick video here as I've seen a lot of reporters, fellow other YouTubers, kind of talk about this upcoming year, what the expectations are with the Jets, and kind of wanted to get out some of my frustrations with some of the things I've been hearing. So, a lot of what you've been hearing is, well, the Jets finished 6-2, but they played really poor teams. And the only reason they won some of those games is because of the talent that they played, and we are going to be playing a much harder schedule this year. Which is true if you're just looking at our opponents. But why is nobody factoring it? Maybe this is the Gase effect, and the fact that so much of the fan base and the media hates Adam Gase and does not want to see him succeed. Now, this is not a pro Gase video. I'm just trying to think of the mindset and why it only stops at, well, our opponents were poor last year and they're going to be better this year. Why doesn't it go any further, right? So I'm not defending Gase. I'm putting this team on notice, right? So I'm taking us out of this underrated area and I'm putting us where we need to be. And I told you guys, if you watch like my very first video, I said I'm going to give you my honest opinion. It's not always going to be in line with the media and everything else that you hear, right? So this is my honest opinion. You go back to week 1 of last year. We were playing the Buffalo Bills, who everybody says, oh, they're the team to beat in this division, right? When we were healthy, playing them week 1 through 3 quarters of a healthy team, we were shutting them out. Yes, they came back and they won that game. We lost Mosley. Sam Darnold was already, we didn't know it yet, but he had mono. If anybody knows that, or has had mono before, you know that your body gets drained of energy very quickly. So I'm sure he was feeling some effects of that towards the end of the game. That's probably what caused him to get tested and then find out that he had mono, right? So what I want to say is, yes, towards the end of the season, we were playing some lesser teams. I mean, we did have some good teams in there too, but we were the worst team in the league. Let's not get that twisted. We were playing players that should not even be in the league or in practice squads. So while you want to look and say we had a weak schedule, we were the weakest team, and we were still beating those guys, right? This is still the NFL. It doesn't matter who you're playing. This is still the NFL. 6-2 is impressive no matter what. And we had players out there. Our offensive line was atrocious. The worst offensive line in league history. I think it was the only offensive line ever to have 50-plus sacks and rushing average below 3 yards or something like that. It's never had that combination before, where they're so poor at both run blocking and pass blocking. We had guys that are not even going to be on the team anymore that were starting and playing significant minutes. Most likely, week 1, there's going to be 4 out of 5 new starters. The only return starter is probably going to be either Alex Lewis or Chuma Edoga, and that's if they win their battles. They're going to be battling other people. Left tackle Becton, center McGovern, right guard or left guard. He's going to play one of them, Van Roten, because he can play either. And then, so the tackle in the one guard spot's the only spot where there could potentially be a starter from last year. But Edoga can easily lose to Fant. Lewis can lose to any plethora of people, right? He can lose to Clark, who he just drafted. He could lose to, but then that would be another starter from last year. Maybe Harrison moves over to guard, and maybe Harrison beats him out, right? So it's just wide receivers, right? I mean, we did still have Robbie at the end. We did still have Crowder, but everybody else, Vincent Smith, Jeff Smith. I don't even know who Jeff Smith is. Still really don't know who he is. But that guy was playing. Braxton Berrios. He's supposed to be a punt returner and a kick returner. He's not supposed to be on the wide receiver, playing significant reps at wide receiver. He's not even going to be on the team this year. I can almost guarantee you that. Davis is going to take his return spot. Watch. I told you now. And Berrios is not going to be on this team. You look at tight end, right? Griffin played well, but Herndon was out all year. So what I'm saying is, the beginning of the year, we play the Bills and we're destroying them when we're healthy. So, look, I'm as honest as possible. I try not to be a homer. I'm going to put the Bills slightly ahead of us, right? Just because it's the respect. They did better. They made the playoffs last year. I'm going to put them slightly ahead of us. But there's no reason why. We're playing pretty much the same schedule. There's 2 different games. There's no reason why we can't compete with them and compete with the Patriots, because I think the Patriots are still going to as long as the rookie doesn't lose them a bunch of games, they're still going to be in it. They had one of the best defenses in the league last year, and that defense carried them a lot last year. So the Patriots, I'm not writing them off just yet. I think it's going to be a race. And even look at the defensive side of the ball. We were a top 10 defense without C.J. Mosley, with a bunch of no-name people at corner, without Avery Williamson. We may keep Avery Williamson. What do we need the cap space for at this point? Might as well keep him, make this defense just amazing, right? So we get C.J. Mosley back, an all-pro. Quinnen Williams, we really didn't have Quinnen Williams last year. I know he played some games, but we really didn't have him. He was playing hurt whenever he did. People want to get on him, say that he's a bust. That's way too premature. I still, to this day, would say we should have taken Josh Allen because he was at a position of need. We did not need Quinnen Williams. But that doesn't mean that I think he's a bad player. I just would have rather had the edge rusher, right? So that's what I'm looking at. We vastly improved the cornerback position. Is it going to be elite? No. Is it going to be a top third in the league? No. Could it be league average? Sure. Especially when you have the safety play that we have. The defensive line is going to be stout, just like it was last year. Probably even better because, like I said, Quinnen Williams, I anticipate him taking a big leap forward this year, so long as he can be healthy. And the run defense is going to be even better because you're going to plug in if we keep Williamson, you're plugging in 2 inside linebackers who are amazing against run. So I just think it's not fair to sit here and say that we can play better than last year but have a worse record. I mean, we were the worst team last year. So we got to look at this and look at it the right way. Why can't we compete? Why are we being labeled as so much further behind than the Bills? We have a better quarterback than the Bills. We have a better running back than the Bills. Hopefully our offensive line is more comparable to the Bills now, but I give the Bills the bump at offensive line. I'm going to give the Bills the bump at wide receiver, but it's not as far as people think. Stephon Diggs is a nice player. I'd call him a borderline wide receiver 1. People may get on me on that. I think he's a nice player, but he's not elite. That's for sure. Wide receiver 1, yes. Elite, no. Can Perryman be in that same kind of category? I think so. I think what you saw at the end of the year is more in line with what he can do. In the beginning of his career, he's very injury prone. And then in the beginning of last season, it was just he was behind so many other targets that he just was not getting targeted as much. You have Mike Evans, a top 5 receiver in the league, or at least top 10. And then Godwin, who really burst on the scene and put himself in that same conversation for top 10 receiver in the league. So I just look at this and I get so frustrated when people say, well, we're playing a harder schedule. Yeah, but we're going to be a much improved team. We were playing with practice squad guys last year. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me, man. We can't let them off the hook. We can't just say, oh, well, we're playing a harder schedule now, so it's okay. You guys can win 6 games and look better than last year. No, the thing is, we got to compete. We need to be in playoff contention throughout the whole year. Whether we make it or not, that's another thing. I wouldn't put a playoff or bust on anybody on their staff. I would just say we have to be competing to the end of the year, and we have to be in this battle until week 17. And that's my thing, man. It just frustrates me when I hear people say that this team is still so far away. They're not. Like I said, and especially if you're going to say that the Bills are so close. When we were healthy, we were both healthy week 1, we were dominating them. And we had a top 10 defense without all these other people. So you look and you say we didn't bring in that many free agents, right? We didn't bring in the big name free agents. We brought in C.J. Mosley because we didn't have him all year. It's an all-pro, right? And now, if you help this offensive line and this offensive line is competent, I know he was there all year, but we brought in Le'Veon Bell, an all-pro running back. Because the thing is, it doesn't matter who it was. Le'Veon Bell was going to hit 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It was amazing that he even got a positive yard. If it wasn't for him, he would have been getting negatives every time. So the thing is, the moves that Douglas made this offseason is going to set us up. We are going to be, because we are the Jets and because nobody ever wants to give us credit for anything, we are going to be a big sleeper team this year. I tell you guys that right now. If this team stays healthy, I agreed 100% with Green Bean last night on the, not last night, Tuesday night on the Jets panel. This could be a 10-win team. Why not? Why not? We're going to have a top 10 defense, and I don't care, you're playing tougher offenses. That was one I heard too. We're going to play tougher offenses, so maybe our defense can be better, and we can be outside the top 10. We were top 10 without an all-pro inside linebacker and without corners because all these Mollett probably not even going to be on a team. Harrison, one of them, I can guarantee you one of them's not on the team, if not both of them. And they were both starters last year. Kennedy, I never even heard of that guy before he was starting a game for us at corner. Now we got Desir in. We brought in some guys in the draft, right? Hall. So this team is going to be much, much improved just by getting healthy. Just by getting healthy. We had the most money, if you take out franchise quarterbacks, we had the most money on injury reserve last year. And it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. So sorry this rant went on a little over 10 minutes here. I'm just frustrated when I keep hearing people say, well, we could be better but have a worse record. We were playing with bums that should not be in the league, right? And that's, I mean no disrespect to anybody here. It's just those people were not ready to be playing. We played 3 games with Luke Falk. Where's Luke Falk now? Not even on a practice squad. It just, why are we neglecting the fact that we were so devastated last year and we had such a lack of depth, which Joe Douglas has done a great job of adding depth to this team. So hopefully if we do incur, we're going to incur some injuries, but if we do incur some, it's not going to be as devastating as it was last year. And to take it one step further, I almost forgot to mention this, the Bills were one of the healthiest teams in the whole league last year. I think they were the healthiest. Least amount of injuries. That's not going to happen again, right? These things are going to move around. They may not be the most injury played like we were last year, but it should level out now and average out more. And we already showed that we can compete. And then we beat the Cowboys, right? We can compete with some of these better teams when we have our players. So that's the thing, guys. Hey, look, my thing is, let's not throw in the towel before the season even starts. We can compete with anybody in this league. You heard it from me first. We can compete with any team in this league. If we're healthy, I think we can compete. And I'm not going to let us off the hook by saying, well, we have a harder schedule, so it's okay if we do worse. No. When we were healthy, we were in all these games, and that's what it needs to be. I will give out my record prediction once the schedule actually comes out, because I think that the order in which you play these teams, if there is a bye week, the whole COVID-19, there may not be bye weeks, but when is a bye week, if there is one, kind of plays into how these things pan out. Do you have like a real vigorous road trip in there somewhere? That can kind of affect the way you go in some of those toss-up games. So when the schedule comes out, I will do my prediction. But, man, I'm expecting 8 to 10 wins this year easily. I don't want to go backwards. There's no reason for us to go backwards. We added so much talent when you think about the people that Joe Douglas brought in through free agency, through the draft, and the people that we have returning from injuries. There's no excuses. We have to be fighting for a playoff, if not making the playoffs this year. So let me know, am I just a biased Jets fan? Am I just thinking too optimistically? I think I'm not. Like I said, I just want to factor in everything. I'm not going to just factor in our opponents and how we played a weak schedule versus now a harder schedule. I'm going to factor in the fact that we were playing with 3rd and 4th stringers, and now we're going to have all of our 1st stringers back, right? And that's a big difference too, and that's something that people are not mentioning. And I just wanted to make this video to mention this to you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell. I love making these videos for you guys. And as always, Jet up.